Hello everyone. Today is July 5th, 2025, 8:53 p.m. Japan time. And I'd like to talk about how Trump's proposed tariffs could be interpreted as a turning point for Japan, a kind of a wake-up call, really. Japan lost in World War II and was placed under the U.S. occupation thanks to the post-war structure under the American-led and GHQ order. Japan was able to rebuild and grow rapidly. But what if America had not occupied Japan? What if it had been the Soviet Union instead? It's likely we would not have recovered this fast or joined the global economy so early. In that sense, Trump's claim that Japan has been spoiled for many years might actually contain some truth. Now, if you look at Japan's trade data today, you will see that our biggest export destination is the United States, around 20%. Then China at 15, 17%, and 18%, followed by South Korea. Clearly, we rely heavily on the US as buyer. On the flip side, the US exports mainly to Mexico, Canada, and China. Japan is important, yes, but not that critical to American export revenues. From the US perspective, Japan is not a key customer. It's more like a dependent supplier. That's why I started thinking, is Japan still selling to its parent, to the US, in a kind of economic dependence? It's like earning pocket money by constantly asking your parents to buy from you. It might look like an economy, but in reality, it's not sustainable. The more Japan exports to the US, the worse the American trade deficit becomes. That's not real trade, that's an imbalance. And Trump seems to be trying to correct that imbalance, not out of honesty, but out of strategy. In fact, I believe Trump wants Japan to wake up. He is not trying to bring us down. He is telling us, stop relying on your parents. Go out and do business with the rest of the world. He wants Japan to expand into the global south, into regions like Indonesia, India, and Africa, a place where China is currently extending its influence. And he wants Japan to be a counterbalance to that. Japan has manufacturing strength, so if we redirect that power toward the global south, we not only help those economies grow, but we also become a stronger, more independent nation, a true partner, not just an obedient child. If we want to keep doing business with the US, then build factories in the US, produce and sell locally, but don't keep relying on trade imbalance to make money. In that sense, Trump's message is pretty clear. Stop selling to your parents. Start building your own client base. And if Japan actually pulls this off, if we reduce trade dependency on the US and expand our influence across the global south, then Japan becomes a fully independent, globally relevant power. We could compete with China not by war, but through economic pressure, not through dominance, but through balanced cooperation. That's why I see these tariffs not as a set, but as a form of shock therapy, a shock doctrine moment, a wake call that forces us to rethink our structure. And frankly, that's what China fears the most. A Japan that wakes up, breaks free from the dependence, and starts to shape the world through its own influence. That's their worst nightmare. So, yes, it's a painful transition, but it's also a chance for Japan to finally stand alone and lead again, not through exploit, but through trade and shaped prosperity. Thank you for listening. This has been my take on Trump's tariff as catastrophe for Japan transformation. If you enjoy this perspective, follow me on Longput's option my contents. See you next time.